Uh, and it's the daily. You think it ain't when it is. You think it won't when it will. We are here and we are in motion. We on this thing. That's my real snow coaster. So we about to break this thing down, man. Listen, we got something to talk about tonight on this Power Monday, and it's going to be like no other. Tonight on the Daily Go Get Mism Show, we're talking about surviving the COVID-19. So what we're going to do tonight is we have a couple of people who have contracted the virus. We're going to have them on the show, and we're going to talk to them, and they're going to give us the real about how it feels and when they contracted this virus, the real And this thing is going to be very revealing. Like, we're going to do something tonight like it's never been done before. And I want y'all to be ready for this thing, because this thing is going to be on fire, baby. Something you admire, baby. And it's going down right now on the Daily Go Get Mism Show. Because there are too many misconceptions about how this virus works and what we can do about it and how it goes down. So we're going to get it, going to pop it. And you know that's Monday, no stopping. So let's get this thing together. We're going to talk about the coronavirus tonight, but we're going to talk about it in a way that we haven't talked about it before, because there's a lot of misinformation that is going on out there, and we have to get this thing together. We got to straighten it out. You know what it's all about. We got to straighten it out. We're going to do it, no doubt. Word. So, like I said, we have two people. We're going to have two people on the show tonight, and they're going to tell you about what it's like to contract the virus, about real symptoms versus what you've been hearing out there, about how it really feels to have this thing versus what you've been hearing out there, and how people have been treating them, receiving them, and and what the expectations are. This is going to be some shit tonight. So what you want to do is you want to share this show, and you want to let everybody know that you are checking out the Daily Go Get Mism Show, and you learning some shit tonight that's really hot and that's necessary. So that's what I want y'all to do. Get on the horn, baby, and let your peoples know that you listening to the DG Show, and y'all learning some shit that you really didn't know. First-hand knowledge. That's how it's going down tonight. First-hand knowledge. That's what we're doing. First-hand knowledge that you can't get in college, where real experience is going down. It's the DG Show, and it's happening now. Urban Therapy with Sun 752. With this your daily, the Daily Go Get Mism Show. We do this every single day. Every day it rains. Every day it rains. And the DG will do the same. I'm your host, Sun 752, aka Omar with the rrr. And if you can't say Omar with the rrr, well, then you just say Omar with the R's. The Daily Go Get Mism Show, and it's going down right now. Listen, tonight, it's going down on the Daily Go Get Mism Show. We are talking about the coronavirus. We are talking about COVID-19. And we have a couple of people that are going to be on the show tonight, and we're going to talk to them about what it's really like to have contracted the virus. You know, right now the country, the world, but especially the United States, from our personal view, is really in a panic. People are really, really scared, and there's a lot of information being shared. If y'all are anything like me, your inbox is full day after day after day with new coronavirus information. You know, ways to fight it, conspiracy theories, truth, facts, fiction, feelings, suspicions, all kinds of stuff. It's going down. There's a lot of information being shared out there, but not a lot of that information is accurate. So tonight, what we're going to do is we're going to have some information coming straight from the horse's mouth about this virus, about this disease, about the way that the whole thing has been playing out, and the way that it's been going down. It's going down. So let's get it popping, baby. It's the Daily Go Get Mism Show. So, yo, this is what we're going to do. This is what Tagwan. We are in a few minutes, I'm going to make a call, and we're going to talk to our first guest, and she is going to come on the show tonight, and she's going to show you. She's going to talk about what it was like to contract the virus. She works in the industry. She's a nurse. Both guests tonight are nurses, and they're going to tell you what it's like to have contracted the virus. Well, first of all, they're going to show you what it's like. Tell you what it's like to have worked around people who already have the virus, and to try to protect themselves. What it was like to try to protect themselves against the virus, and then to have contracted the virus, and then to have to, deal with the symptoms, the diagnosis, the prognosis, and the eventual recovery, and the social factor about it, how their family, friends, how their social life has been impacted, not just by social distancing and staying at home, but also, by quarantining, but by having to quarantine to protect themselves from the public, to protect the public from them, and what their perspective and their outlook on life is after contracting the virus. So we're going to get into it hot and heavy tonight. This show is going to be deep. So this is what I'm going to need y'all to do. I need y'all to hit the like button coming right on in. That's the easy part. But I also need y'all to share this show. This show is going to be we're going to do this show unlike other people that I've seen do these shows, because like I said, there's been so much misinformation that has been shared, that has been talked about, that has been given, that has been put out there in the universe, to the point where once again it has us looking at each other sideways. It has us blaming each other. We went from blaming the Chinese, but the Chinese are so far away. The Chinese are so far away. Hold on a second. Hold on a second. Yeah. It's 75 and I'll be doing my So you're gonna do a little something different tonight, man. The fuck? Who's this shit? Okay. All right. So now I had to get my little. I got my water. You know what I'm saying? But that's the healthy water. But I'm feeling kind of thirsty. I need like regular water. You know what I'm saying? Like, out of the Brita. This ain't the Brita. This is actually better. It gets rid of more shit than the Brita. A little thirsty, man. A little thirsty. So, like I said, the Chinese are so far away from us that they're not really our problem. So, just like regular, black people started blaming black people. That's where we're going with it. I had an eye-opening experience on my Facebook page today, and I see that people think that people who caught the virus, who contracted the virus, are still able to give people the virus, even though they have recovered from the virus and they no longer have the virus. When you really think about it, it's ridiculous. So this is what we're going to do. We're going to call our first guest. We're going to call our first guest and get them on up in here and see what they have to say. So let me post the number Let's go. Okay. Now, this is a go-getter that we're calling, one of two go-getters that we're calling. And this one is Darlene Maybin. So let's see how this goes. She knows that we're calling, so hopefully this goes down right. Because when you call from the Blog Talk site, it comes up like unavailable or some shit like that. So we got to make sure that they answer. What we got? What we got? What we got?
You have reached the voicemail box of 267-975-1879.
Okay, Darlene, this is Omar with the rrr, aka Sun 752. So when I'm trying to call you, I don't know if your phone is blocking numbers, but if you're getting the ring, if it comes up unavailable or something like that, I'm going to try again. Let me see. Let's try again. The hell? Why is that coming in?
Start your show now, press 1. To hear important instructions, press 2.
Okay. Oh. How did I do that?
Since it appears you're calling back into a live show, we are reconnecting you now.
Okay. Wait a minute. Let me get out of here. Let's do this again. Okay, wait a minute. Let's get this together.
You have reached the voicemail box of 267-975-18.
I don't want to put All right, wait a minute. You know what I mean? She might have her shit going like straight to voicemail if you don't have it programmed into your phone. Let me see. Bear with me for a second, y'all. We're going to get it together. All right, let me see. Let's try one more time. One more time. At least one more time. We're going to get this thing together. Word up.
You have reached the voicemail box of 267-975-1879.
Okay. Okay. It might be better to just have her call it. Okay. All right, we got it. She called in. All right, she's calling in now. All right. Darlene, are you there? Wait a minute. Darlene, are you there?
Yeah, I'm here. Can you hear me?
Yeah, I hear you now. All right, here we go.
Right.
Sorry about that. You know, the whole. Let me get this thing together. All right, can you hear me?
Yeah, I can hear you.
All right, I just want to make sure you can hear me and everybody can hear you. Just want to make sure that we have the audio up. First of all, I want to thank you for agreeing to come on to the show. I really appreciate that. And, you know, because I know that this whole situation can be really, really tough. It has probably been mentally and physically and emotionally taxing on you. So I just want to let you know that the Go Getimism show, the Daily Go Getimism show, really appreciates you coming through and agreeing to tell us a little bit about your story. So thank you for that. Number one.
No problem.
All right. So one of the reasons that I wanted to do this show is because because I've been finding out lately, very recently, that that um that a lot of people have a lot of misconceptions about this virus, the way that it's contracted, the way that it affects people, exactly if you can expect to live or die from it. And so I was hoping that you would come on and give us some real world, real life, personal experience as far as the field is concerned, and in your personal world, after have contracting the virus, so people can either relinquish their fears, or they can learn how to better protect themselves and keep their expectations realistic. You understand what I mean?
Well, I understand what you mean, but it's like so new. It's so little known about the virus. But I do know once you have it and you get through the incubation phase, you're not contagious. Like I can't pass it to anyone else. You have to be sick with the virus in the actual incubation phase.
Right.
For you to be able to pass it to somebody else. Once you're past all that and you're no longer you're not sick anymore, they're not sure if you have the antibodies in your system, which I'm hoping you do, like the chicken pox, because if you have them in your system, they're not sure if you can't catch it again, but they say if you can catch it again, it'll be a lighter phase of it.
Mm-hmm.
So they're not really sure. No one's really sure what's going on with it, but it's positive that once you're recovered, you can't pass it to anyone else. Like, you know what I'm saying?
Right.
You can only pass it when it's in this active phase. That's just like with MRSA, a hospital-acquired infection. You're going to always have that in your system. Once you heal from it, it's always going to be in your system.
Right.
You can't pass it to someone else, but it's in your body forever.
Mm-hmm. Well, why do you?
People are thinking it's like herpes or something. No, it's not. It's not laying dormant to come back and infect somebody. You can't catch it again. I mean, you can't give it to anybody. And as far as nobody knows why people are dying, they're saying if you have an underlying condition like diabetes, a low autoimmune system, high blood pressure, you're on dialysis, stuff like that. Like if you have something else, an underlying condition, it can take you out quicker. But if you're a healthy person like me, it's like the flu times 10. If you ever had the flu, that's how it feels. The flu on 10.
Mm-hmm. Okay.
It attacks your lungs.
Right.
So that's the main concern. People with asthma, they're really susceptible to dying. But like it attacks your lungs. So if you don't have any other problems, they'll just tell you go home and quarantine. I take a lot of vitamin C's and lemons, oranges, a lot of juices, water, and they give you different breathing techniques to relieve your lungs. And Mucinex was a very good thing that I took. A friend of mine recovered, and she told me to take the Mucinex because it relieves the mucus that surrounds your lungs that make you not able to breathe.
Okay, let's slow it down a little bit. Down a little bit. So if you can take a few minutes, can you take a few minutes out to tell people what you do for a living?
Oh, I'm a psych nurse.
You're a psych nurse, okay? And where?
I'm a registered nurse. I specialize in psych.
Okay, and where do you work?
All over.
Now, I mean, like, do you work in a? I don't mean like the exact place. I don't want people looking for you. You know what I'm saying? But I mean, like, do you work in a hospital? Like, do you work in a nursing home?
I work in hospital setting.
Okay.
Yeah. But I also work in outpatient setting too.
Okay. So working in the hospital, you can expect to come into contact with people who are sick at all times.
Always.
Oh, right. With various diseases and conditions and whatever. So when this thing first broke, when we first started to be alerted about the seriousness of this condition and the introduction to it in the beginning, how did it make you feel? Did you understand the dangers of contracting it? Did you understand exactly what was at stake as far as your health was concerned?
Honestly, not really. I really didn't pay it any mind. I was like, oh, I've been through so many deadly diseases, SARS and AIDS. I was like, oh, it's not going to affect me. You know, it's just not going to be any different. And it didn't scare me until they actually start shutting down the whole basketball arena and football arenas and schools and the whole cities and counties. That's when I got nervous. Like, whoa, they didn't do this before.
Mm-hmm. Yeah, I think that's when a lot of people really started to understand the seriousness of this thing, and start to really it started to really raise people's eyebrows and awareness, and started to scare people. So what kind of precautions did the hospitals and your place of work, what kind of precautions did they originally alert y'all to? How did they prepare y'all against this?
None. They didn't prepare us for nothing. We over in the psych unit, so I guess they figured it wouldn't bother us. But we didn't have no masks, no nothing. We wear gloves on the norm, but they didn't prepare us for nothing. They was just like, you know, it was something out there, but it won't affect you. Not until it started getting cases in the hospital. We're across the street from the hospital. Once they started having cases in the hospital, that's when they started giving us masks. But they really wasn't giving us the right equipment.
Mm-hmm. So you said they weren't giving you the right equipment. Can you elaborate on that a little bit?
Like they were giving us those little flimsy masks and expecting us to wear one a day. Like you're supposed to check that like 20 times a day. We're supposed to have the N95 rebreathable mask.
Mm-hmm.
You know, this is airborne. It's airborne. It can go right under the creases and things of the mask.
When did they start changing and giving you the right PPE? When they start giving,
we still don't have the right equipment. We still don't.
So
we don't have enough.
Okay. So
all that equipment goes to ICU and the ER, which I understand they should have that first because they on the front lines for real. But it is what it is.
Okay, so you feel like they didn't administer the right equipment in the beginning. So unless you worked in ER, do you feel like they didn't protect you enough? They didn't do enough to make sure that your safety was ensured and that you would be able to maintain your health?
No, they definitely didn't protect me.
Okay. And
they definitely didn't protect me.
And you say it's still that way today?
Still like that now. We had one guy came over on the unit, coughing, spitting in people's faces, being aggressive, and a doctor, we sent them over to the ER, found out he had the coronavirus. They didn't even tell us. We found out by accident. They didn't even come to the unit and said, this is what's going on. Half my unit is out now with this virus, like the nurses. Mostly, like 18 nurses are out. They had to pull in people from the outside that don't normally work the unit. And now they fighting with us when you coming back to work. And now we got to fight with them. Where's my workers' comp? We got this from here. You're going to pay me. Crazy.
I totally feel you.
On top of being sick and weak and fatigued and trying to get yourself back together.
Right. So, all right. So they're putting their employees at risk, because I'm thinking that. Okay, so because I'm thinking that regardless of whether you are a frontline worker or not, you're still working in that environment, and you're still at risk for contracting the virus, and you're still and you being at risk of contracting it means that the public is at risk for getting it from you. So it doesn't make it.
Everyone in the hospital setting should have the right equipment. I don't care what department. Everyone. If you in housekeeping, dietary, everyone in the hospital setting should have the right equipment.
Right. So what so you said that they're still behind on making sure that everybody is administered the right equipment. So do you feel and I guess this you probably already answered this question, but just for confirmation, do you feel that if the hospitals had done more to administer you, or if they had been more proactive in making sure that your safety was insured, do you think that you would have been able to avoid contracting the virus? Do you think that it was because they fell down on their end that you contracted it?
Yeah, I kind of think that, but in a way, it's so new that people don't have all the facts that I really can't say that. I think that I kind of think that they weren't proactive with us, but I think there's a lot that they just don't know.
Right. Okay. So when you contracted the virus, how did you come into the knowledge that you had contracted it? What happened? What can you speak on that a little bit?
I didn't feel good. I was having trouble breathing. I had no asthma. I go to the gym 3 times a week. I had no issues with that. Then I was having body aches. And I kept telling my supervisor, I don't feel good. I was like, I want to be tested. She was like, no, Darlene, they don't have enough tests. The tests are mainly for the people that are more at risk than you, and you haven't been in contact with it, so they're not going to test you. Finally, this came out that the guy had it. I went on my own and got tested. I found a place in Philly. I called up, made an appointment for me and my son, and I got tested. And then all of us got tested on our own. The hospital didn't test us. Mm-hmm. We all took it upon ourselves to go out and get tested, and half of us came up positive.
You got to be kidding me. So let me get this straight. You asked you asked the hospital, you asked your job where you work as a nurse. You told them that you were feeling symptomatic, that you didn't feel well, and they told you that you didn't have symptoms that they were aware of, and that that they were not going to administer a test for you. Is that what you're telling us? Okay. So you had to schedule a test for yourself.
Yes, this is the thing. This is where the public, they keep saying fever, fever, fever. They're going on fever. If you don't have any fever, they don't think you should be tested. Fever is not the main symptom. I did not have any fever whatsoever. I had body aches and I was having trouble breathing. Everybody is going on fever. That's how they judge people. They take their temperature and then they say, oh, no fever, they can come to the unit. These people live in the street. They're the mentally ill. They're not taking no precautions. I think I'm more so at risk than the ICU nurse. At least she knows what she's dealing with. I'm getting people right off the street.
Right. Yeah, this is some really. I don't think people really understand what these hospitals are doing and the irresponsibility. The neglect. I don't know about you, and I don't know about my audience, but me personally, I'm not even really into this, but all I'm hearing is lawsuit. That's all I'm hearing. Like, because this is blatant neglect from what I can hear. Negligence.
Blatant neglect. It's not even social isolation. They put out a broad thing to the public, social isolation. How are you having social isolation with 32 people on the unit? The nurses is like neck to neck. There's no 6 feet apart. Nobody is 6 feet apart. You got 28 patients in the kitchen. Ain't nobody 6 feet apart. This is total neglect for the staff and the patient. You're putting both of us at risk. And then you calling all of us, when are you coming back to work? When are you coming back to work? We got to fight for workers' comp. I'm like, you got to be kidding me.
Right.
They don't even realize, like, I'm not even about that. I'm about doing my job, getting what I'm supposed to get. I didn't die. I feel fine. But they don't know. Some people are too crazy. You get a couple nurses that's like, look, I ain't going back. I'm going to get me a case.
That's crazy.
Crazy.
That's crazy. I mean, because even if you were negligent up front, I'm thinking that somewhere along the line, as we started getting more information, as you start losing people, you would start to get on the ball more. And you're telling us, you're telling us that Go ahead.
I said, I haven't been there 2 weeks, but so I heard they decreased the population of the patients in half once you lost half your nurses. So you decrease the population of the patients. I still don't think they did a deep cleaning of the unit, and then they got more protective gear for us. But you had to lose half your nurses before you did that.
Mm-hmm. Yeah,
I haven't been back. This is what I heard. I don't know what's going on there.
Right. So mentally and emotionally, how did you feel when you came to the realization that you had the virus?
I was a mess mentally, and I'm a mental health nurse, so I know how mental can affect your health. And I was a mess mental being in this room for like almost 2 weeks, can't leave. I have an adult son. He down the hall. I'm telling him, don't come to my room. Use your own bathroom. And him, he don't care. He just care about his mother because we both got tested. He was positive. I was positive. He was negative. He kept coming to the door, peeking, checking on me, and I'm like feeling like I don't want him to catch it. Mentally, I was a mess. Like being cooped up and like I just felt like I was all alone. Like I felt so bad. I read an article about how these patients that have it in the hospital on a vent, their families, no one can come in there. They don't even know how the nurses look because you're so gowned and the face mask and everything. And that made me think like I can't even imagine mentally how they feel dying all alone by themselves.
Mm-hmm. Yeah, that's off the chain. This is but this is what people needed to hear because we
even with me being at home, I didn't sleep for 3 days at first. I was so scared that I was going to go to sleep and not wake up. Like I had to keep taking my temperature. I had to keep taking my pulse ox to see what my oxygen rate was. I had to take my blood pressure. Good thing I'm a nurse and I could do all this for myself. But I mean, it was scary. I had to do everything for myself, and I couldn't for 3 days straight. I didn't sleep. I was so scared. If I went to sleep, I wasn't going to wake up.
And do you even with your experience as a nurse and your knowledge of the health field and everything like that, do you feel like your fear that you weren't going to make it, or the possibility or probability of you of your deteriorating health, do you think that was more of a product of what you had seen from other people in real life, or okay, did it?
No, not real life. I think it was more so what the media kept putting out. That I had to stop looking at the news because the media was making. Every time I looked at the media, I got more and more afraid that I was going to die. Like the hospitals are closed. You can't go to the ER unless you're damn near dead. So I'm laying here thinking, if I can't breathe, I can't go to the hospital until I can't breathe, and then I'm gonna die. Like I can't even go get help nowhere.
Okay. That's what I wanted to know because I know that the media has done a really, really crazy job on people, scaring people.
Yeah.
And now I know that they have to, I recognize that they have to make sure that people are alerted to the seriousness of this virus, this disease, or this condition, or whatever you want to call it. But at the same time, I personally feel like they've been putting out a lot of false information to I guess to make people, people who wouldn't normally be serious, or people who would be skeptical, make them, tighten up a little bit. So how do you feel about that? Do you feel from what do you feel that the media has done more good towards making sure that people protect themselves and are playing it safe, or do you think that they've done a more damage because they have put people in a bad mental space to whereas they got people tripping over themselves?
Yeah, I think they're doing more damage because you're trying to scare the public, but people like these young kids and they're parties and down the beach, they're gonna do what they're gonna do anyway. But you're scaring the general public, like people that got common sense, people that got degrees and have some kind of knowledge. You're scaring us. Like what going through it, you can get through it. Like so many of my friends have gone through it and gotten through it, and they making us feel like anybody that gets is gonna die. They're just scaring us so bad mentally.
Okay.
You can't get through it. That's what they need to do. They need to focus on the severity of it, but at the same time, they need to let you know you can get through this if you do get it.
I don't hear them saying anything about getting through it. I don't hear them saying anything about recovering. I don't hear them talking to anybody who recovered. And, I've heard them talk to people who recovered, but they didn't talk to them about the recovery. They didn't talk to them about how it felt to get through it. They mainly talked about, the politics of it and whose fault it is and all that kind of stuff. And I'm like, what, like, come on, man. Like, it's, even though this is a serious disease, it's a deadly disease. Many people have died. Then to me, they just aren't talking enough about the fact that way more people have survived this thing. Way more people have recovered from this thing than died. Like, I mean, I'm talking about 80% have recovered without any treatment. Like with you didn't have to be hospitalized or anything like that. 80% of the people who have recovered are like you. They didn't have to have any special treatment, and people aren't they aren't talking about that, because the other 20% either had to be hospitalized and still survived, or they died. But we don't even hear about anything about the 80%, and we don't know enough about the 20%. All we do get a steady doses of who died, how many got it, and how many people died. I mean, it's crazy.
And then they focus on like the underlying health, but then they say, oh, if you're younger, you're maybe not, but anybody like over 55. I'm 53. My sister is 69. She got it. She's in healthcare too. Me and her got it like a couple days apart. She called me and told me, and then I got tested a couple days later. And she's coming along great too. She quarantined in the house by herself, and we just talked on the phone to each other because she's in there by herself, and she's 69 and she's coming along great.
Really? Okay. That's they definitely seem to make it sound like if you're a senior and you get it, you are out of there. Yeah. They make it sound like seniors ain't going. My mom. Listen, they got my mom shook. She is crazy shook. Like yo, I ain't coming out of the house. Blah 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 blah. And at the same time, she tired of staying in the house. And I'm like, Mom, like you can go on your porch. My mom saw. Yeah. Listen, my mom saw her neighbor have two or three of her friends over on Saturday, and they was on their lawn. They had a little table set up on their lawn, and they was just at the table, talking and chilling with each other. My mom was losing her mind, like, look, what are y'all doing out there? I'm like, Mom, if they don't have it, they can't get it from each other. She was like, no, but they wasn't even 6 feet apart. And I was like, oh my God, they killing us. They killing us before we even get it.
Yes.
Yeah.
And it's not even like about healthy people. Because my sister is overweight and she got high blood pressure and she's on farm. She's 69.
Okay. Hey, listen, I don't want to diminish the importance of the people who have fallen from this. And, and my heart goes out to the people who have lost people to COVID-19, but at the same time, we have to lend respect to the fact that we're still here. You know what I mean? Yeah. And we have to live on. Yeah. We can't make ourselves sick before we even get sick. And we can't get in the casket before we even die. But that kind of seems to be what we're doing to ourselves, and it concerns me. It really does.
Anxiety can kill you. Mental health can kill you. I specialize in that. You can be so anxious, you can kill your own self. Raise your blood pressure. Like I was so anxious, my blood pressure was like 2 something over 1 something. I run 120 over 80, like clockwork. I made myself that upset because I didn't know what to expect.
Mm-hmm. Wow. Yeah. All right. Well, I mean, So
I'm getting a little tired now. I'm still fatigued.
yeah, calm down, just chill. You know, what I mean, you're still recovering. You know, what I'm saying, you still recovering. You gotta chill. You gotta chill. But listen,
I'm not contagious.
I know.
I still don't have my stress back.
But that's what I want to talk to you about. That's the last thing I want to talk to you about being contagious. Now a lot of people think that you can still infect people even though you are recovering. Now, can you let people know what your outlook is, what the future looks like for you now that you have contracted the virus and are on your way to being virus free? Can you let them know what other people can expect from being by being around you, or you being around other people, or whatever? Is there anything that people should be concerned about when if they are coming in contact with you in any way?
No, I mean, once I'm recovered, there's nothing I can do unless I get reinfected from somebody that's in the active stage. But
Okay.
As far as being recovered, no. And I mean, if people are afraid to be around people that are recovered, I don't like people anyway, so it don't matter to me. But
Yeah,
it is what it is. But no, that's like saying you can sit next to somebody. Well, it's not the same. But like when AIDS came out, they were so scared. Oh, I'm gonna touch him and I'm gonna get him. Like, come on.
Because it was wrong, it was misinformation, and people were so afraid, you know, that they started mistreating people. Now, because we did a show about this yesterday. We did a show yesterday about, it was called being sick and ashamed. So we were talking about how because some people have illnesses and conditions that make people look at them sideways, that they just keep it a secret and they suffer in silence. Some people, like when AIDS was out, a lot of people didn't want anybody to know that they had AIDS, because it was like a punishment to you. You know what I'm saying? So people didn't know. Right.
But now half the population has it. I mean, I have a lot of friends with it. It's like they don't have no problem with it. They're not ashamed. It is what it is. It's no different than getting diabetes or high blood pressure. You know, it happens.
Right.
It happens. They got new medication out. The medication is so good that it's undetectable, and they living their lives. They don't care what people think about them.
Yeah, and you know, that was my whole thing. Because when I put that post on my page this morning, and I saw all these people acting like people who have recovered from it still have it, I'm like, you got to be playing. You know, because our people, we separate off over the dumbest shit. We have a history of separation. You know, light versus dark, good hair versus bad hair. You know, tall versus short, young versus old, paid versus broke, rich versus poor, hood versus city. You know what I mean? Like, what can we finally, you know, get our shit together and support each other and congratulate each other, you know, for getting through a situation and trying to give help to the next person, so that we can relieve ourselves and stop running around here with like chickens with our heads cut off, thinking that we going to die or get killed or whatever. Look, listen, motherfuckers ain't even scared to be murdered right now. They like, murder, ain't nobody worried about that shit. It's the COVID. Ain't nobody gonna stab me, ain't nobody gonna shoot me, ain't nobody gonna beat me up. But they might cough on me or sneeze on me or touch me on the arm or bump into me on the subway and I'm gonna die. Like,
and you know what? That's why I went public with it on my page. A lot of my friends were hiding, like, why you put your business out there? Because I want to help the next person and let them know you can get through it. It's not just play. And I'm not ashamed of it. And matter of fact, I'm proud of myself that I beat it. So I'm like, I'm ready to help the next person get through it.
Listen, I was real proud of you doing that. But I was at the same time when I saw you got it, when I saw you that you had, I was like, oh shit, she's doomed. You know what I'm saying? Red bones out of here. Yeah. That's what the red bones. It's a red bone disease. They all out of here. They finally find a way to get rid of y'all. It's like, nah. But seriously, no, on a real, you know, I really was proud of you for doing that and thankful for you doing it, because people, when people see people that are real, you know what I mean? Like you can see people on TV all day, but those aren't people that you know. Those aren't people that can validate your existence. But and those are people that you can easily make judgments on. You can easily make judgments on people that you don't know because you can't feel and touch them or have to interact with them. They don't strike at your heart. But when you have to deal with your brothers, your sisters, your aunts, uncles, cousins, mom, dads, co-workers, neighbors, and all of that, and classmates and all of that, when it hits them, now it's like, oh, wait a minute. Yeah. This is somebody I used to smoke blunts with. This is somebody I used to drink beer with. This is somebody I just kick it with. Oh, this is somebody I went to the parties with. This is somebody that I grew up. You understand what I'm saying? It's more personal. So when you see that they went through it and that they made it through it, it can get you. It can inspire you and let you know like, oh well, such and such had it and they got through it and they okay. So I think all right, even if I get it, I know, at least now I have a resource of somebody that I know what went through it or whatever. So I don't have to be as scared and as nervous.
Yeah, I'm dead. Yeah.
Right. Because shit, rumors of war are worse than war. You know what I mean? You get in a war, you either gonna live or you die. When there's rumors of war, you dead before anybody ever shoot a shot. You know what I mean? So
for real.
Yeah. So it's a tough situation. So what kind of treatment have you received from your friends and family? Have they opened their arms to you? Are you still quarantining? Like, are you able to see people?
No, I'm not quarantining in my room no more. But I mean, my doctor just told me to stay home another week to get my strength back because I tend to want to jump back into things so quickly. But no, I'm not quarantining anymore. My 14 days are over.
Okay.
I have no fever, no nothing, but just a little fatigue.
Okay.
But he just wants me to stay home. But my family and friends have been here. They like, what you need me to bring? Even when I was quarantined, they was like, I will leave it on the porch for you.
Okay. So you are able to, you're not quarantined in your room or anything like that. Mm-hmm. But have people acted funny towards you? Like have they told you, all right, well, as soon as the stay at home thing is done, then I mean, I see you, or have they been like, I'm gonna still come over, you know what I'm saying? Because we still have to sanitize, we still have to wipe things down and wash our hands and wash our ass too. People talk about washing, hey, you still gotta wash your ass.
We should be washing our hands like that on the norm.
Right. So Charles Lindsay in the chat room wants to know, are you deathly afraid of being reinfected? Is that a concern for you?
Afraid, but I'm a little bit afraid, but like, they don't really understand it, but they're saying that since we have the antibodies in our system now, if we did get reinfected, it wouldn't be as bad. Like it would just be like having a cold.
Okay, so let me get this straight. For people who don't understand this shit, what she's saying is there's a possibility that she could get reinfected, but she would have to get reinfected by somebody who has the virus. It's not like it's not just gonna like creep back up like, yo, I was cured, but I ain't cured no more. Look, it just came back. Okay. Yeah.
Like cancer, it's not gonna come back with cancer.
People think this shit is like a zombie. They think this shit is like a zombie disease. You know what I'm saying? Like, yo, they ain't shoot it in the head. It's coming back.
They like cancer. What they think is a remission? It's not a remission. I'm fine.
Listen.
But I can't be reinfected by somebody else that's infected.
Right. So, but you also said that now that you have antibodies, so if you do get reinfected, it may not be as severe. You may not get as sick as you were previously because you have built up not a total. You have built up a greater resistance to contracting it than you would have had initially, right? Yeah. All right.
My immune system is built up better with it. And
right.
That's like when you get the flu shot. They inject the flu into you
right
to stop you from getting it. So
okay.
You realize that, right?
I do know that, but I won't. But I refuse to get that shit because you know what I'm saying. Yeah, I ain't doing it.
You know,
Nah.
I get it every year in my child, and you know what? The fact that I got it this year could have been the reason why I didn't get it as bad because I get my flu shot like clockwork because I work in a hospital, and it's not fair to my patients or other people that I don't get it.
Yeah, I ain't.
Why it didn't affect me as bad because I had this. We're not sure, but that could be a reason.
Mm-hmm.
I've been getting my flu shot for the past 40 years.
Well, listen, all they say on TV is that this is not the flu. This is not the flu. This is not the flu. I'm like, okay.
It's not the flu. It's the flu on 10. If you have all the symptoms of the flu, but it's intensified 10.
I don't know.
I had the flu.
I had the flu too.
Took me out.
Yeah, I had the flu.
Imagine how you felt then, times like 10 or 20.
But I used to get the flu every year. But the last time I had the flu was in 2015. I really thought I was going out. I thought it was a Rizap. I thought I was Dizun. You know what I mean?
I'm telling you, these newer
that shit was serious.
The flu is nothing to play with. They will kill you.
Yeah.
Y'all worrying about y'all worrying about this corona. All these people walking around without flu shots. These newer strains of the flu, they will take you out. This is fast as the corona will. Yeah.
Well, you did say that one of the reasons that you suspect that you were able to make it through with you know, you were sick, but you know, with as little with as minimal damage as possible is because you practice a healthy lifestyle. What do you consider practicing a healthy lifestyle to be? What is it for you?
Well, I'm not all healthy. I could be better, but I tried when the gym has been closed. But I tried to work out 3 times a week. Now, before I got it, I would just walk around the block in my neighborhood, put my mask on, gloves, and just walk around the block a couple times. Mm-hmm. Or I drink a lot of water every day. Mm-hmm. Instead of taking the elevator, I'll take the stairs a lot. I try to eat healthy. Like I always pack my lunch. They be ordering cheesesteaks and strombolis and chicken. And I was like, I would be 300 pounds easy. So I try to pack up my lunch every day and not eat a lot of fast food. I do eat a lot of candy because when we're at work, we need that energy, that sugar. So I do eat a lot of candy, but I don't drink a lot of sugary drinks. I drink like water or seltzer water.
Okay. So you're saying that all you do is
eat healthy, mm-hmm. and I try to eat healthy, and I try to stay away from that fast food, and I try to stay active. Mm-hmm.
So you're saying that you work out, but all you do is eat pork chops and sweets.
No, I don't eat pork chops. Actually, I eat a lot of chicken. But I do things sometimes. Like I'll eat some pizza. Like, as a matter of fact, I made some ribs today for my son because I was bored, and I did eat one and some fries. But this virus, now that I'm getting my appetite back. Like last night, I was laying in the bed eating cookies and ice cream. I never ever do that. I guess I was so happy that I had an appetite again. I'm just like hungry all the time.
Is that the way you feel? Do you feel like you're coming back to life?
Yeah, definitely.
Okay. All right. So what would you say
from being a zombie?
All right. What would you say was the worst part about this whole experience? Was it the physical part or was it the mental and emotional part?
I think it was more the mental. The physical because I was having chest pain and I was having trouble breathing. But it was more, I think that was more mental. I was having more probably panic attacks and anxiety, not knowing what to expect and being in the room by myself, which is probably where the chest pains were coming from.
So you said that you had the...
I think it was more mental for me, honestly. I think it was more mental, not knowing what to expect.
Mm-hmm. Well,
trust me, it was physical, hot and cold and fevers and vomiting and all that.
Mm-hmm. Well, as a psych nurse, of course, you understand the mental aspect of it, the mental and emotional aspect of it. But when you say that that COVID-19 is 10 times worse than the flu, and you've had the flu before, like, is it possible for COVID-19 to actually feel 10 times worse than the flu?
Yeah,
is that possible?
My body so achy. I had headaches, body aches, pain, fever. Like I said, I was throwing up. Yeah, I had the same thing with the flu, but this was like 10 times worse.
Wow. How long ago was it when you had the flu?
I had the flu. It was a while. My son was just born. He was 1 year old. So it was about 20 years ago, 21 years ago.
Well, do you think that the flu has increased in severity since you had it, and maybe
Definitely.
so is it possible that COVID-19 is equal to today's flu, but way worse than yesterday's flu? Is that possible?
No, I don't think so. I've had friends and family that had the flu, and what they were saying didn't feel nothing like what I had.
That's interesting because I used to get the flu every year, and just keeping it a buck. I've had the flu every year, but the thing is,
That's crazy.
when I had it in 2015, that was way worse than I had ever had the flu ever. Like that shit was killer. I've never felt that close to death before. Like I was actually afraid. And I'm normally only sick for 2 days. And even this time I was only sick for 2 days. But this time what should I say? That time when I recovered and I started turning the corner and feeling like I was on the road to recovery, after those really bad 2 days. But I really didn't think I was going to recover. I was actually considering going to the hospital. I don't be going to the hospital for no like flu or cold symptoms or whatever. Like I don't normally consider doing that, but this time I did because this is how bad it was. Like I was sick.
Well, you said 2 days. I had it for 2 weeks. Imagine feeling like you felt for 2 weeks.
Well, no, I had it. No. I had it for 2 weeks. I had it for 3 weeks. But when I get sick, the really bad part of it is normally condensed in 2 to 3 days, and that's when I start to feel like I'm starting to come back and get better. But this time it was holding on. Like when I started to feel better, I was like, I'm shocked. I thought it was a wrap. You know what I'm saying? I figured it probably had something to do with some of my indiscretions back in the 80s. I figured that's probably what, you know how it go. But but listen, listen, me and the go-getters really appreciate you coming on the show and share your experience. I actually have another nurse coming on right after you, and so I want you to stay on the line and maybe you can jump in when she comes on, and we can still continue this dialogue. But I want to bring her on, and so she can tell her story.
I'm kind of tired.
If you want to go, you can go. It's all right. I just want you to know that I really appreciated you coming on, and we all did. You know what I mean? Go ahead and do your thing. Go ahead.
I'm getting a little fatigued. Like I just ready to lay down for a few.
All right. Well, do your thing. But listen, like I said, once again,
I'm glad I can help you out.
Well, I'm glad you can help me out, help us out, because this is bigger than me. This is about us. Like with this virus affecting so many Black people. You know what I'm saying? We have to have some stories of inspiration and people that have come back from this thing, so we can see that we still have a chance. They haven't successfully wiped us all out yet.
Not yet.
You know what I'm saying? I hear you out there. I hear you coughing in the background. Yeah, it's time for you to go, because now you're going to invalidate everything that you said. They're going to be like, no, she's still sick. Yeah, I'm messing with you. Don't worry.
The period of being contagious.
Nah, I'm messing with you. I'm messing with you. Listen, I cough like 3 times every half an hour. I don't care what nobody say. If I got the COVID, I've had it for like 3 years. I mean, it is what it is. You know what I'm saying?
That's good.
Hey,
All right.
But listen, you have a good night. Be safe. And once again, thanks for coming on.
No problem.
All right. So That was nurse Darlene Maybin, go get her. And I really appreciate her coming on and telling her story. I hope that y'all got a lot out of that. But we're not done. We're not done. We're not done. We're not done. We got another one. We got another one. And she follows the show religiously, comes through. I don't think she's been over here on the YouTube side, you know what I'm saying? But she definitely was messing with us when we was over on the blog. I mean, on the Facebook side. This is Angela, Miss Lady Gray, coming on the show right now. Miss Gray. When you gotta turn your device down, man. You gotta turn your device down. Turn it down. All the way down. All the way down. Yeah, there you go. Nah, you gotta turn it all the way down. You got it? Okay. All the way. You gotta turn it down all the way. All the way. You gotta make sure we don't hear me.
I got it.
You got it?
It's all the way down.
And how come I can still hear it then? All right. First of all, welcome to the Daily Go Getimism show. I appreciate you coming on. How are you this evening? Are you there? Getting your microphone together?
I'm good. I'm hanging in there, recovering from this COVID.
Are you hanging in there? You recovering from the COVID?
Can you hear me?
Yeah, I hear you. We hear you. You're good. You're good. All right. So, like I said, once again, welcome to the Daily Go Getimism show. We really appreciate you coming on to tell your story and get the word out so we can understand so people can get a better understanding of how this virus works and what the dangers are, what the benefits may be, false information, true information. So we were looking to get some real personal, real world experience from you in any way possible. So I want to thank you again once again for coming on, and I want to introduce you to everybody. This is Angela, Miss Lady Gray of the Daily Go Getimism. Y'all used to hear me talk about all the time. From Germantown is all up in the house, Brickyard all day, every day, all up in the house. So what's going on, Miss Lady Gray? How you feeling? Are you feeling any better yet? Are you there? Hello? Are you there? Huh? Yo, no, you're too far away. I can't hear you. You're gonna have. All right, this is what you're gonna have to do. You're gonna have to take us off speaker. You gotta take us off speaker. Huh?
Okay, wait a minute. Hold on, switch devices. No.
Take us off speaker. You gotta take us off speaker.
Okay. Hello?
Much better. Can you hear?
Okay.
All right, you good?
I'm good.
You good? All right. So, how you been feeling? Are you recovering from this thing? How's your recovery coming along?
It's coming along day by day.
Okay.
Still a little tired, but I'm getting my strength back day by day.
Okay. Can you tell our viewers what you do for a living?
Well, I'm a nurse. I work in geriatric nursing.
Mm-hmm.
I've been doing it over 25 years.
Okay. So you say geriatric nursing. So you work with the elderly.
Exactly.
Okay. So in your job and your day-to-day activities, so you are you dealing with people of varying conditions, or are you basically dealing with people who are just, for lack of a better term, just sick and waiting to die?
No, I'm dealing with all types of everything. Anything you could possibly do, you could think of, that's what I deal with. It's not just a waiting place to die no more.
Okay, that's
Nursing
good.
homes are not like that no more.
Mm-hmm. Okay, so at your place of business where you worked, since you worked in a nursing home or whatever, do you feel like the nursing home did enough? Were they putting procedures in place well enough to have protected you from and the patients? Do you think that enough precautions were put in place in order to protect all of you from contracting the virus?
Absolutely. We were provided all the right equipment. Actually, my facility was one of the last facilities in Pennsylvania to get a case of the COVID. And we probably wouldn't have got it if it didn't take for a negligent coworker who came to work knowing that they had it, that their husband was infected, and they just kept coming to work because I guess they felt as though that they needed money. So they put all of us at risk.
Oh, so let me get this straight. So the nursing home did what they were supposed to do. They provided y'all with all of the PPE, and they educated y'all on exactly what they knew about the virus and what needed to be done in order to protect y'all from contracting it. And it was actually one of the employees that knew that they were exposed to the virus, and they came and infected people at your place of business where you work.
Absolutely correct.
Well. So is that how you contracted the virus?
Yes.
Were you the only one who contracted the virus from that person?
No. We actually lost the patient.
Y'all lost the patient
due to the same individual. Due to the same individual.
Wow. So if you don't mind me asking, what are they doing? What are they going to do about that person, that employee? What kind of litigation? What's going to happen as far as does the person still have a job there? Are they going to be sued? Is the nursing home going to be sued? Like what's going on?
Well, actually, I haven't looked into it because right now I'm trying to get my health together. But I'm definitely looking into finding out, what's going to happen, what repercussions can happen to that person, because it was pure negligence. Pure negligence. We all need money. We all need money.
Wow. So other coworkers, other nurses had contracted the virus, and y'all lost the patient.
Yes.
Okay. All right. So, well, one thing is for sure is that you definitely knew where you got the virus from. When you had the person who was negligent and reckless, really they were reckless in their actions. Were they tested and found to be positive for for COVID-19?
Well, their husband tested positive first, and then once they had confided in a coworker, and the coworker switched them out, and that's how all of this came about. And then come to find out that person wound up having it. They wound up testing positive as well.
So
yeah, it's pretty deep.
So let me get this straight. So the husband of the employee and the person that they confided in tested positive too. Okay.
Yeah.
All right. Did you know the person?
I don't know if I knew them personally. Probably seeing them, but not knowing them personally.
Was it a nurse?
Yes.
So a nurse acted in this manner? A nurse conducted. Okay, all right. I thought you was gonna say it was one of those lowly, those lowly housekeepers, but no.
Yeah.
Yo,
I can laugh about it now, but I was angry then. I'm still a little angry, but I could bring a little bit of humor to it right about now.
I'm glad.
I was hotter than fish grease.
Listen, when you did your Facebook Live and you said that you that you had the virus, I saw the concern. You know what I mean? I almost cried for you. Like, yo, Angie fucked up, son. No shit, she fucked up. Oh no. Yeah, I thought that, but that's how the media have you thinking. You thinking like, yo, if she got it, she probably gonna be out. But maybe the people who do a Facebook Live are the ones who survive. But anyway,
maybe. I mean, I watched 2 people die right in front of me.
From the virus.
At the hospital.
From the virus.
From the virus. Yes.
Now, when you say that people die from the virus, and don't think that I'm in denial of your expertise or but what makes you say that they died from the virus? Like, what about, did they have pre-existing conditions or whatever? Like, what makes you say that they died from the virus?
Well, I was told they were.
Okay.
That they, died from complications from COVID.
Okay. Would there be any other motivation from the nursing home to diagnose them with with dying from COVID-19 versus any of their other pre-existing conditions that you are aware of?
No, it's just, I mean, if they start presenting symptoms, that's when we start testing.
Okay.
You got a cough, you start running a fever, things of that nature. If they give us a reason, that's when we start testing.
Mm.
If you have to present like some type of symptom.
Mm-hmm. No, let me clear up what I'm asking you, because because we've been getting so much misinformation. A lot of people think that there's a conspiracy to fix the numbers. Like there has been proof that other people who died from other things have been lumped into the COVID-19 deaths. So what I was asking you was, do you think that there would have been any motivation from the nursing home that you worked in to basically lie and say that they died from COVID-19 versus the fact that they may die from a heart attack or from complications of diabetes or anything like that you are aware of? Okay. That's what I was asking you. All right.
Okay. No.
All right. So can you tell us a little bit about how you felt when you started to get symptoms, and like what symptoms did you get? What did you start feeling when you knew that you contracted the virus?
Well, actually, I really had no symptoms. I had a cough, but because I'm a severe asthmatic, and like for the last few nights, I had been like waking up coughing, like having like a little, like the drainage, nasal drainage. So my cough, it got like a little bit worse. So like last Saturday, I started not feeling like, I just kept coughing. So I just kept drinking liquids to kind of keep myself from coughing. But then the cough got so bad that I couldn't catch my breath. So one of my coworkers went on and grabbed all the apparatuses or whatever. And my oxygen dropped down to 86%. They said I turned like pale.
Mm-hmm.
Other than that, I had no fever, no sweats, nothing else except for the cough. But like I said, I thought it was just my regular asthma, and I also have CHF. So I didn't know if it was one or the other. But once I got to the hospital and they started running tests and told me that they were going to test me, which, I didn't have no problem with them testing me. I said, okay, go ahead. But then once It came back, and it was a 40-minute test. Came back in 40 minutes and told me that I was positive for COVID. I felt like I had got a death sentence for HIV. That's exactly how I felt. My whole life flashed in front of me, and I'm just like, how? How could this happen when I protected myself at all times?
Why did you feel like you had been given a death sentence?
Because, like you said, the media throws out so much, and it just throws so much fear into you. And it's just like you don't know what to expect. Like you don't know what the next thing is. You don't know. You're all alone. That's the biggest thing. Being all alone. I'm never used to being alone in the hospital. Never. Now, they don't care what it is. You're at the hospital, you're by yourself. So you have to fight everything on your own. And as the previous caller said, it's a mental thing. It's definitely mental. I thought I was going to lose my mind in there. I had no family, no friends. Thank God for FaceTime.
Yeah.
Because other than that, I would have been there by myself.
Yeah, I hear you. So if they had you in isolation and quarantine in the hospital, how do hospital workers deal with a person who has contracted the virus? Like, can you give us a little detailed explanation of exactly how they interact with you, how they feed you, how they treat you, how they administer an IV, how do they contact you without contacting?
Well, out of all the contact, I had to get with 3 people, which one was one of the doctors because I was offended. She kept bobbing and weaving as I was coughing. But as I was coughing, I had my mask on. So, and I never coughed in her face. She had all of her gear on. I had everything on that I was supposed to have on. And she just kept bobbing and weaving to where as though I became offended.
Mm-hmm.
And I told her, I'm like, listen, maybe you're in the wrong field. I'm not coughing directly in your face. This is what you're dealing with on the front lines. I'm dealing with the same thing as well. Like, stop bobbing and weaving. The other nurse, on the other hand, the nurse who was on my other hand, was very compassionate. Very compassionate.
Mm-hmm.
And the same doctor came in the room and yelled at me and told me to put my mask on. But I couldn't put my mask on because at the same time I was vomiting.
Mm-hmm.
So it was like, it seems like you're being offensive to people, but you're not doing it intentional.
Mm-hmm.
Like you're not doing it intentional. And I felt like a little, I felt like I had to fight for my right at times.
Yeah.
I had 2 nurses rummaging through my belongings. One, she's telling me she got a husband at home who has cancer. Okay, well, maybe you need to be home with your husband. But what you're not going to do, you're not going to come in here, you're not going to disrespect me.
Mm-hmm.
You have the proper gear on, and I have the proper gear on.
Yeah.
It can become overwhelming. But once I put them in their place, I didn't have a problem afterwards.
Well, I'm thinking
I guess you have to look at it on the other side.
Mm-hmm. Well, I'm thinking that the stress of getting the diagnosis, thinking about what's in front of you, the prognosis of your future, your recovery or your demise, basically. I'm thinking that the stress of that was enough, but then to deal with people who are there to help you, sort of treating you as if you had open wounds or something like that.
Exactly.
Mm-hmm. I would imagine that was very stressful. So how long did you have to how long did you spend in the hospital?
I spent 5 days in the hospital.
Mm-hmm.
I was started on the medication. No side effects or anything. I'm done the medication. So now I'm self-quarantining. I'm on my, 8th day, I think, 8th day.
Mm-hmm.
I have to quarantine for another week, then contact the health department, get retested, and, move on from there.
Okay.
Am I scared? Absolutely.
What are you afraid of?
Do I want to be around anybody? No, I don't want to be around nobody at this time.
What are you afraid?
No one. I don't want to be around no one.
Wait a minute. What are you afraid of?
Because I don't know who's been around who. You know, this is real. Like, I mean, Philly, I don't live in Philly anymore, but I look at it, like I just look at people, how they just really just don't care. You know, they want to hang out over each other's houses, party. I'm good. No, thank you. I'd rather be by myself because I don't want to reinfect myself. I don't. So it's I don't know. I think it's pretty much a mind thing.
Mm-hmm.
And it's going to take me a while for me to want to be around crowds or anything. Mm. I'm a very clean person. But like I said, I don't know what the next person does. You know, me watching people run out and buying all this dish liquid and bleach and Lysol and stuff, I've always been one of those females that always had that stuff in my house. So for me to see that kind of stuff now, it makes me laugh. Because I'm like, well, damn, what were you doing with your life? You don't wash your hands?
Did you consider yourself to be a very sociable person before you contracted the virus?
Absolutely, yes. I'm always having gatherings at my house. I'll go to certain people's houses. I don't go to everybody's houses. Certain people's houses. I've always had people come to my house. And I think, but now, as time goes on, I think that's really definitely going to change.
Okay.
It's probably going to be instilled in me a little bit more. Like, I have to be aware of my surroundings. A lot of people are not clean.
Yeah, that's true. So you really feel like this is going to affect your social life going forward. Like, you probably won't be entertaining very many parties. Will it stop you from going out to other people's gatherings?
Yes.
Okay.
Most definitely.
Mm-hmm.
Yes. It will. Like I said, I have a very small circle, and that circle will stay the same. Like, it will not be a whole lot of, I'll hang out at this person or this person is having it. No, thank you. Very large gatherings. Nah, I'm good. Mm-hmm. Because I have a compromised immune system. Mm-hmm. And I'm not willing to put myself at risk like that again. Never. Mm-mm.
But isn't it true that now that you've had the virus, after you recover, don't you build up a stronger resistance to it? So aren't you more immune to getting the virus the second time than a person who never had it is from getting it the first time? Ain't that true? Ain't it?
That's true.
Okay.
Yeah, that's true. Yes, that's true. But I'm not willing to gamble with that. I'm good.
Yeah, I hear you. Like, good. Fuck all that. I ain't worried about
Yeah. No, I'm good.
I hear you. So when you got out of the hospital after the 5th day, did obviously the hospital felt like you were in good enough shape to be able to leave the hospital. How did you feel personally about it?
I feel fine. Let me tell you this. You will contract more stuff in the hospital than what you will when you're home. When they told me that I was ready, that I could go home, I don't think I pulled my own IV out. I pulled everything out, got myself together because I was ready to go home. Mm-hmm. Because when you're in the hospital, you're placed at a greater risk of contracting every goddamn thing that's in the air.
Right.
Opposed to me being home alone, I'm here by myself. I don't have to worry about it. My own child, when she dropped my care package off, I wasn't mad at her. She dropped that shit off on the goddamn porch. And she kept it moving.
Yeah. I mean, if you care about your loved ones, I would imagine that you would put your personal feelings about the way people deal with you aside, and for the safety, for the sake of their own safety and health, of course. You know what I mean? But going forward, going forward after you recover and everything like that, are people going to feel safe coming around you? We already know you've already told us about how you feel about being around other people, but what about other people being around you? Are you worried about people trying to label you as still having it, or of you still being able to affect people? You know what I'm saying? Are you, how do you feel about that?
Nah. My family and friends, they pretty much know what type of anal asshole type of person I am. So they pretty much know that if anything, I've always had OCD. I think my OCD is probably 3 times over, and it's just me in here.
Okay.
There's nobody else here in my house. It's just me.
Okay.
And when I could tell you I got every kind of cleaning product, but I've always been that way. But now, once I've gotten sick, I've actually been like a little bit more over the top.
Okay.
Like I won't leave anything around. Everything is wiped down in bleach. I had bleach wiped soon as you come in the door. Like I'm one of those.
Okay.
But I've always been that way. But I think it's going to be even worse.
Okay. So even though you may have already kind of answered this, what is your outlook on life? What are you going to do? You feel renewed? Do you feel restored? Do you feel like you've been given a second chance in life, on life, whatever? And do you like what do you just told us some things that you're gonna continue to do or whatever, but
90 seconds.
Besides all of that, like what does the future look like for you? Like, what can you offer people who have not contracted the virus and are concerned about contracting it? What words of wisdom, advice, inspiration, or whatever can you give to them?
Be aware of your surroundings.
Mm-hmm.
You have to be aware of your surroundings. Like you can't.
60 seconds.
People are not the cleanest. You can't go over Judy's house because Judy probably done had them eggs sitting in that damn sink for 2 days. Like you gotta be like, no, I'm one of those. You gotta be very, very vigilant about your health now, about who you're around, who you're sleeping with. Like you gotta be your own advocate because nobody else is going to be that advocate. And I know that is definitely a big change for me.
I hear that.
I probably want you to put on the table. I want you to probably put on the table. Who's the last person you slept with? How many people they probably slept with? Like that's where my mindset is at right about now. I'm not willing to put my life on
10 seconds
down with anybody. I'm not. No, thank you.
I hear that, but this is not a sexually transmitted disease.
No, it's not. But it's still contact. It's airborne.
That's true.
It's very contagious. Very contagious.
Well,
you'd be surprised how many people don't wash their hands. You'd be surprised.
No, I've seen it.
Come out the bathroom.
Mm-hmm. I've seen it.
Just come out the bathroom who don't wash their hands. No, thank you.
Yeah, there are definitely some nasty folks out there. It's real out here. It's very, very real. But one thing is for sure. I'm really, really glad that amidst this horrible experience that you've had, it's also been an eye-opening experience for you and for anybody that has took this ride with you, even though this has been a short ride so far. But I'm glad to see that you're positive, that you still are staying positive in your outlook towards life, towards health, and towards your future. That's inspirational. And I really want to tell you that I appreciate you coming on this show and sharing your story. It was brave. It was brave of you to go live and let everybody know what was going on with you. And I'm glad that your people are not trying to mistreat you or treat you like you nasty, whatever. You know what I mean? Treating you like you was the chick that was burning everybody around the way. You nasty ass. You burn. but I'm just saying. I mean, yeah. I'm just, you know how Germantown is.
People that look at people like that.
I know.
Like, ew, you got the corona. Like, ew, you got COVID. Hey, excuse me. Yeah, I do.
Yeah.
Yes, I do.
Yeah. And you probably got it from.
It's not something that It's not something I decided. I woke up that morning last Saturday, and like, damn, you know what? Let me see if I can get COVID.
It
doesn't work like that.
But are you sure that you didn't get it from trying to kiss frogs and turn them into princes? Because I've been reading some things, and they say if you kiss the wrong frog, you could get, the COVID-19,
Omar, I think we want to stay friends, right?
Okay, listen.
Just
listen. I'm like the president of the United States. I'm just putting ideas out there. I'm just putting out information, ideas. Okay, listen.
Don't be telling people to drink bleach and stuff, okay? Don't do that. Don't do that.
Okay, well, there goes that idea. Fuck it. All right, listen. Listen, I really appreciate you coming on the show tonight. I really, really do. And I consider your story to be very helpful, very inspirational. You know what I mean? And I'll continue to support you in your recovery, your struggle, and I'm glad that things worked out. I'm glad that this thing didn't turn any more tragic for you than before, because it would have been real bad to lose a red bone, red head, all that, everything you do is red, just red this, red that, and all that. You know what I mean? Like, the way things was looking, I'm like, we had two people on the show tonight, two guests on the show, and they both red bones. It's an attack. I mean, I don't know if you can see it, but this is obviously a disease to get rid of y'all. How do you feel about that?
I ain't going nowhere. It ain't my time, okay? It ain't my time. It ain't my time, so I ain't worried about that. It ain't my time.
Well, I guess they'll have
got many more years. I
guess they'll have to just come up with something else. But anyway,
yeah, pretty much.
Like I said, listen, I really appreciate I appreciate you coming on the show. Really, really. All joking aside, I'm glad that you are in good enough spirits to be able to laugh and joke and be your normal self. You know what I'm saying? G-Town stand up all day. Brickyard stand up all day, even though you moved out of the city. You know what I mean? Made yourself irrelevant, but you still matter. To the numbers or whatever. But I'm glad you recovered.
I got a special COVID hug just for you.
Thanks. Appreciate that. Listen, we got to get on up out of here, but thanks for coming on the show, Angie. You know what I mean? I appreciate me some you, So, you continue to do your thing in your recovery, and, stay positive and make sure that you take care of your health as you have already been doing. Just keep everything positive, stay clean like you've always been doing, whatever. You know what I'm saying? And peace to you, blessings, and continue health, happiness, and increased quality of life.
Thank you. Talk to you later. Good night, y'all.
All right. Peace.
All right.
Well, how about that? I know the show went kind of long today, but I'm glad that it did, because we really need to get out that information. I'm glad that Angie came through. I'm glad that Darlene came through. I really appreciate y'all coming through and sharing your stories. That was really inspirational. So y'all do y'all thing. And for all of the go-getters, I hope that y'all learned something tonight. I hope y'all got a lot of good information out of this show, and anything that you can use, I hope that y'all got it, and everything is going to be y'all ride, and everything is going to be y'all ride. Yes, will. All right, so we have some birthday shout outs to do. Some people were born on this glorious. April 27th, and they deserve to be acknowledged. So let's go about our business of acknowledging them and making them feel special because they are special, because they are special, because they are S-P-E-C-I-A-L. They are S-P-E-C-I-A-L. They are number one out the box, Robin Ritchie. Happy birthday to you. And Mabel Cruz, happy birthday to you. And Walker, Teresa Walker, turning 51 years old today. Happy birthday to you. And Ella Austin, happy birthday to you. And Joyce Henry, turning 65 years old today. And Camille Gordon, turning 47 years old today. And Nikki R. Dowell, happy birthday to you. I want to say happy birthday to all of you and anyone else out there who shares this birthday on this glorious April 27th, anywhere out there in the world, worldwide, internationally, and universally. All of y'all go ahead and turn up, but don't turn up too loud. Just turn up loud enough so everybody can hear you. Rock out, rock on it, do the damn, the rock out, rock on it, do the damn, rock out, rock on, do the damn thing, and do your thing, y'all. Represent the queens and kings and do your thing, y'all. Represent the queens and kings. Good things happen to those who wait. Great things happen to those who grind. And anything can happen to those who go for theirs. So go hard, go for yours, and remember, listen, y'all, man, we had guests on here tonight, and they talked about their experience with contracting the COVID-19 virus and their struggles, their turmoil, their triumph, and I really want to give a shout out to them once again, Darlene Maybin, Angela, Miss Lady Gray, coming through to share their story. I hope that the information that they gave y'all is of some use to you, your family, loved ones, and whoever else does not understand how this virus works. Hopefully you have a little bit more information so you can understand and go forward and not be so afraid to live your life and to continue life as you used to live it. One day, protect yourself for now, protect yourself in the future, but just know that this virus, I should say, does not kill everybody. It has killed a lot of people, but a lot of people have survived. And we spoke to 2 survivors tonight, and they gave us a lot of advice and they gave us a lot of insight into exactly how this thing works. So hopefully none of us, no more of us get it. But if we do, let all of us know. We should all know that it doesn't have to kill us. We can survive. We spoke to 2 survivors. They're not the only ones. I had another nurse, an emergency room nurse, that I didn't get a chance to get her on the show tonight. But nonetheless, I know people who have had this thing real life. They're getting past it. They're getting through it. You don't have to be afraid. That you don't have to be so afraid that you're going to get it and that you're going to get it and die and all of this. Don't let the media mess your head up and all of that. At the same time, protect yourself just like you would protect yourself from anybody else that had an infectious disease. Nobody wants to be sick, and I don't want to see any of my go-getters sick. I'm going to get with y'all later. I want to thank y'all for coming through. Y'all been the best. I love my go-getters to death. Resuscitate y'all. Love y'all back to life. Thank y'all for coming through. Make sure y'all share the show. Make sure that y'all hit the like button if y'all haven't hit the like button yet. Make sure that you subscribe to the channel if you haven't subscribed to the channel yet. And we gonna rock on to do the damn do the damn thing. I holla back, y'all. Oh yes, I holla back, y'all. One love, and we all out. Woo! I said, woo! I said,
Thank you for using Blog Talk.
Woo! I said.
Goodbye.
I said, whoop. I said, peace, y'all.